Just like given the dynamics taking place, the macro picture, and you don't have to give specifics if you don't want to, but where do you want to be, or how are you thinking about being prepared or allocated, if you can share more there?
Yeah, well, I think for let's say most investors have some form of the 60-40 portfolio, right? Some stocks, some bonds, 60-40 meaning 60% in stocks and 40% in bonds. And the point of that portfolio, or the genesis of that portfolio, really came out of the last 30 to 40 years, where we've had a long-term disinflationary trend, right? Inflation has come down meaningfully, where we had very strong growth and particularly strong productivity growth in the economy. And also a period where we've actually, seen some of the lowest international conflict that we've seen, in modern human history. And so in many ways, people have gone to the 60-40 portfolio because they've seen it do so well during that time. And the problem is that at this point, the 60-40 portfolio is really an all-in bet on disinflation, strong growth, and peace. And those things may very well happen over the next 10 years, let's say 10 or 20 years, but there's certainly a probability that they don't, right? We've seen an inflationary period. And so the idea that we might have further inflationary dynamics in the economy should be present in people's minds. We've obviously seen a period of lackluster growth for an extended period of time. And we've seen, we've gone from a period of international peace to, a heating up of geopolitical conflict. And so, you think about all that, how do you protect yourself, right? How do you get prepared for an environment that may be different? And how do you hedge against that? I think really for most investors, there's basically two easy ways to get to handle that, which is to include gold and diversified commodities in your portfolio. Now, almost no investors who hold the 60-40 have those assets in their portfolio, but even something like a 10% allocation to both gold and diversified commodities can meaningfully protect against, tailed outcomes in a geopolitical sense, or rising inflationary pressures. And we've seen that really, in the course of the last couple of years, where, for instance, everyone used bonds to hedge their stocks. And the reality is that gold has outperformed bonds by 50% over that same time frame. So you'd sure as heck like to hold gold as your diversifier to stocks more than bonds over the last few years. And hopefully that's a good lesson to folks, that holding more diversified portfolio can help protect you against a wider range of different outcomes.